Imagine two massive companies coming together in a billion-dollar deal that could reshape entire industries and impact millions of people. But have you ever wondered what really happens behind closed doors in such high-stakes mergers? What are the hidden challenges? And why do some deals soar while others collapse spectacularly? In the corporate world, mergers and acquisitions, or M&A for short, are some of the most intricate and riskiest transactions. We frequently see stories about the astounding financial numbers, the audacious plans for market dominance, and the joyous press releases when billion-dollar deals make headlines. A billion-dollar merger is a maze of power struggles, strategic maneuvers, and talks that have the potential to transform sectors. The initial phases, determining a goal and formulating the vision. The process usually starts well before formal negotiations start in most billion-dollar mergers. This entails market research, strategic planning, and a thorough examination of the operational and financial frameworks of possible acquisition targets. Selecting any business with a solid balance sheet is not enough for the purchasing company. Whether the target is increasing market share, breaking into a new market, at this point, market analysts, financial counselors, and investment bankers are essential. Their role is to find and assess possible targets, assisting the acquirer in determining which businesses align with its long-term objectives and growth trajectory. Due diligence, examining every possibility. Both sides carry out a thorough due diligence procedure after deciding on a target and agreeing to start formal talks. This is where accountants, legal teams, and industry professionals are useful. Due diligence for billion-dollar transactions can be very thorough and take months at times. Examining the target company's financial accounts, intellectual property, contractual commitments, customer relationships, market position, and even corporate culture are all part of this step. The stakes are high during due diligence, since any red flags, such unreported liabilities, legal problems, or exaggerated values, might make or break the merger. In virtual data rooms, where confidential information is carefully shared, both parties examine in-depth data, the battleground of negotiation, creating the agreement. The core of any billion-dollar transaction is negotiation. Important choices like the merger price, stock distribution, leadership positions, and degree of operational integration are decided at this stage. The issue of control and leadership is very sensitive. Who will be in charge of the merged business? Will they depart with a golden parachute? Or will the CEO of the purchased firm have a role to play? These choices are frequently the most controversial topics during negotiations, and have a significant impact on company identity and culture. Disagreements over valuation, regulatory compliance, or the blending of opposing company cultures can occasionally cause discussions to stall. Negotiations to resolve disputes may involve earnouts, warranties, and indemnities, which give one party protection against potential unanticipated losses. Regulatory obstacles. Handling the legal environment. Obtaining regulatory approval is one of the most difficult tasks for billion-dollar mergers. Large mergers are rigorously scrutinized by governments and regulatory agencies to make sure they don't break antitrust laws. If they believe an agreement would hurt competition in the market, regulatory agencies such as the European Commission in the European Union and the Federal Trade Commission, FTCC, in the United States, months of lobbying, meetings with regulatory agencies, and transaction modifications are frequently necessary to obtain regulatory approval. To comply with antitrust regulations, businesses may be forced to restructure parts of their operations. Investment banks and advisors function, enabling the transaction. In major mergers, investment banks and consultants play a crucial role as advisors and negotiators for the participating corporations. Typically, banks like Morgan Stanley, JP Morgan Chase, and Goldman Sachs handle financing and plan how to structure the transaction. Additionally, they bring in specialized teams to work on various parts of the merger, such as regulatory compliance, cultural integration tactics, and financial modeling and appraisal. Advisors assist both parties in developing a realistic vision of the financial and operational characteristics of the combined company. Integrating cultures, combining two worlds. When two businesses merge, people, procedures, and cultures, in addition to financial assets and market shares. One of the main causes of merger failure is cultural conflicts. On paper, two businesses may be complementary. When hundreds or even thousands of workers are involved in a billion-dollar merger, cultural integration becomes a separate project. Integration teams, consultants, and HR departments put in endless effort to align company values, integrate various management philosophies, and bring employees together around a common goal. To promote unity, leaders from both sides may hold town hall meetings, polls, and team-building exercises. Operational integration. Bringing everything together. The merger becomes a reality through operational integration. Supply chains must be unified, administrative tasks must be consolidated, and IT systems must be integrated. The difficulty is in striking a balance between operational interruption and efficiency advantages. For instance, a centralized supply chain may lower expenses, but it may also cause brief halts in production. Similar to this, combining IT systems can save costs, but there may be security or compatibility problems as well. Businesses develop thorough integration strategies and assign specialized teams to manage particular integration components in order to facilitate these transitions. Financial consequences and financing the transaction. A combination of cash, debt, and equity is frequently used to finance billion-dollar deals. The financing arrangement can significantly affect the company's debt levels, balance sheet, and shareholder value. In order to provide the target firm's shareholders shares in the new combined company, many acquiring companies will use stock swaps. Even though debt financing is frequently required, there are hazards involved. The company's cash flow may be strained by an increase in debt, which may also affect its capacity to make growth-oriented investments. Companies must therefore carefully consider their funding options to make sure they aren't forgoing long-term stability in favor of immediate profit. After the deal, overcoming obstacles following the merger. There are still a lot of obstacles to overcome when the merger is finished. The public, the board of directors, and shareholders keep a careful eye on the business's performance to make sure it fulfills its commitments. Merged businesses are frequently under tremendous pressure to produce results right away, which might force them to make difficult choices regarding cost-cutting, layoffs, or the sale of failing sections. Case studies of billion-dollar mergers, achievements and setbacks. Examples of both enormous successes and disastrous disasters abound in the history of mergers and acquisitions. In terms of success, Disney's 2006 acquisition of Pixar generated creative synergy between the two businesses and helped to reinvigorate Disney's animation sector. However, there are also well-known failures, such as the 2000 merger of AOL and Time Warner. The merger, which was hailed as a revolutionary fusion of old and new media, the human factor, managing transition. The human element is one element that cannot be disregarded in a billion-dollar transaction. A merger's success frequently rests on how well the leadership can help staff members adjust. This entails fostering trust, maintaining open channels of communication, and giving managers the authority to advocate for change. Among the most audacious business decisions are billion-dollar mergers, a complicated network of negotiations, cultural integration difficulties, and strategic planning lies behind the headlines and financial numbers. Whether a billion-dollar merger is an expensive mistake or a stepping stone to greater success ultimately depends on the leadership's capacity to maintain staff alignment, balance vision and execution. Don't miss out on more deep dives into the biggest stories in business. Hit subscribe and turn on notifications to stay up to date with the insights that matter most.